Welcome to our explainer on the current landscape of machine learning. Look, we all know the world of artificial intelligence is moving incredibly fast right now. I mean, what was considered absolutely cutting edge just 2 years ago, that's basically standard practice today. So today, we're going to break down the essential tools, the massive trends, and the real-world impacts that are actually shaping 2026. But, before we get into the heavy technical details, let's just take a second to address a surprisingly common point of confusion. What does the abbreviation ML actually stand for? Because you literally see it everywhere, in your text messages, in baking recipes, and obviously in tech blogs. Well, depending on where you're reading it, ML can mean much love as a nice little sign-off in a text message. If you're watching sports, it might mean Major League. In a chemistry lab or your kitchen, it stands for milliliters, the metric volume measurement. Or in the context of our explainer today, it stands for machine learning, which means we absolutely are not talking about the National Institute of Standards and Technology's 14th standard operating procedure for the gravimetric calibration of volumetric flasks. As totally fascinating as it might be to measure milliliters of water in a calibrated flask, that is definitely the wrong ML for today. So here is our roadmap for today. 1. Decoding the ML buzz. 2. The 2026 Developer Toolkit. 3. Emerging trends in ML. And 4. Real-world applications. Let's kick things off with part 1, decoding the ML buzz. If you've ever felt like the terms AI, machine learning, and deep learning are just thrown around interchangeably, you are definitely not alone. But there actually is a very clear hierarchy here. Think of AI as the giant broad umbrella. It includes everything from simple rule-based search algorithms all the way up to complex expert systems. Right inside that umbrella sits machine learning, which is specifically focused on data-driven algorithms. So instead of being explicitly programmed with rigid rules, ML actually learns from historical structured data to make its predictions. And then, nestled right inside machine learning is deep learning. This is the narrowest and honestly most complex layer. It relies on massive artificial neural networks with millions, sometimes billions of parameters to automatically extract patterns from really messy, unstructured data like images, audio, and text. All right, let's move on to part 2, the 2026 Developer Toolkit. Now that we know exactly what machine learning is, let's look at how developers are actually building these systems today. Understanding these tools really gives you a window into how the software shaping your digital life is being constructed. If you're starting a brand new ML project right now, this is your foundational 4-step decision tree. First up, you have Pandas. In the real world, developers spend like 60 to 80% of their time just cleaning up data, and Pandas is where that magic happens. Next, for traditional machine learning tasks, you'd move to scikit-learn. It is still the absolute gold standard for structured data. Now, if your problem is more complex and requires neural networks, you step right up to PyTorch. PyTorch currently dominates production adoption and is used in over 76% of published deep learning research. Finally, if you're working with text or large language models, you bring in Hugging Face transformers. But beyond that core 4, there are 3 other absolute heavyweights we have to mention. NumPy is the bedrock dependency. Literally every PyTorch or scikit-learn array ultimately relies on NumPy's optimized math. Then you've got TensorFlow and Keras. These are still incredibly strong, particularly if you need to deploy your model directly to a mobile device or right into a web browser. And then there's XGBoost. If you're working with structured tabular data, think like a massive spreadsheet, XGBoost is the undisputed king. When you benchmark it against older models like random forests, XGBoost wins almost every single time. It is terrifyingly accurate. Which brings us to part 3, emerging trends in ML. With our toolkit established, we are seeing a massive shift in how these models operate in the wild this year. We're moving from traditional ML to something called agentic AI. A traditional model might simply predict that a customer is about to cancel their subscription. And hey, that's useful, but it's limited. An agentic AI system takes it so much further. It identifies the at-risk customer, decides on the absolute best retention strategy, drafts a highly personalized email, and actually hits send. It doesn't just predict, it plans and executes multi-step workflows totally autonomously. Another fascinating trend is the sudden realization that bigger isn't always better. For a while, the industry was just obsessed with massive, super expensive general-purpose models. But in 2026, small language models, or SLMs, are gaining some serious ground. These models are trained on highly focused data sets to do one specific job exceptionally well, like analyzing legal documents or handling customer support. And because they're smaller, they are way cheaper to run, they respond much faster, and crucially, they can run locally on a company's own servers. That is a massive win for data privacy. And building right on that idea of running things locally, we have the rise of Edge ML. Cloud computing is powerful, no doubt, but sending data to a server and waiting for a response takes time. If you're building an autonomous vehicle or a critical healthcare monitor, even a 1-second delay can literally be disastrous. Edge ML pushes the computation directly onto the device or the sensor itself, so the data is processed exactly where it's generated, giving you near-zero latency and immediate real-time decisions. Now, because these machine learning systems, whether they're agentic, small, or edge models, are so deeply integrated into the core workflows of businesses, operational maturity is no longer optional. MLOps and its generative AI counterpart, LMOps, have become absolutely mandatory. You really have to treat ML models like critical software infrastructure. If you don't aggressively track, version, and monitor your models, a system that worked flawlessly in testing can behave wildly unpredictably once real users actually start interacting with it. And that takes us to our final section, Part 4, Real-World Applications. So how are all these developer tools and industry trends actually changing our lives? Let's look at an application where the stakes are incredibly high, healthcare. Machine learning is completely revolutionizing clinical trials right now. First off, for patient recruitment, ML algorithms are scanning vast electronic health records to instantly match complex patient histories with highly specific trial criteria. Second, for trial design, researchers are using ML to run discrete event simulations. This means they can mimic patient progression to optimize the trial parameters before the trial even begins. And finally, once the trial is up and running, ML engines are providing near real-time adverse event detection. To give you some perspective on this, Bayer built a system on AWS that flags potential adverse events with an average response time of just 170 milliseconds. It is instantly catching things that a human might miss, and it's keeping patients significantly safer. So, when you look at incredibly powerful tools like PyTorch and XGBoost, and you combine them with the rise of agentic AI acting completely autonomously, and Edge ML making instantaneous decisions right on our local devices, well, it really makes you wonder about the future of our day-to-day work. The output is no longer just a prediction on a screen. It's an actual action in the real world. So, considering just how fast these systems are advancing, what complex human workflow do you think will be automated next? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.